Hey, hi, and hello, everyone. Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd. I hope you are doing well. Let's talk about a little incident that happened in the midst of the Grammys. Yes, the nominations were made, the awards were handed out, the performances were performed, and they mostly went off without a hitch outside of the general distaste and unhappiness with, who got what awards and so on and so forth. Wasn't too bad this year, not as bad and as disappointing as it's been in some previous years, but there are still a myriad of ways in which the institution continues to fall short. But even with those shortcomings, nobody likes a sore loser, which is exactly what Chris Brown was when he was shocked to find he did not win in the R&B Album of the Year category. Instead, that award went to one Mr. Robert Glasper for his Black Radio 3 record. Now, Robert Glasper, if you didn't know, is an amazing piano player, writer, a band leader. He has not only come out with a number of very impressive and versatile albums himself, but artistically took part in a lot of classics that I reviewed over the years, specifically To Pimp a Butterfly. But even with that history and with those connections, Robert Glasper is still not one of the more well-known musicians out there, unfortunately, because apparently even Chris Brown did not know who he was, even though they were nominated in the same category, and he could have taken the time to scope out his competition when the nominations were made. It's not like this guy just popped up out of the blue. You've been nominated in the same category for months at this point. If I was nominated for an award that I was really looking forward to winning for months and months on an album I worked very hard on, I would also want to know who the other people nominated are and what their music sounds like. And maybe at least in my own, probably biased opinion, but still my own opinion, want to know whether or not my record measures up, just kind of hearing the quality of their stuff against my stuff. Apparently, Chris Brown has no such curiosity because he took to Instagram stories once he learned of his loss here and started posting stuff like this. You're playing Who the F is this? I'm gonna keep kicking y'all ass respectfully. Who the F is Robert Glasper? Now, the irony of Chris Brown using this image is, at least when I looked it up, it was posted to Robert Glasper's Instagram. Like, clearly here is Robert Glasper toying with and making fun of the fact that while he's been connected to so many great pieces of popular music and popular artists, people don't quite know who he is. So in the past, on his social media, he has kind of made fun of the idea that he still exists in a relative level of obscurity to people who are basically, ignorant of maybe people who are behind the scenes, maybe people who actually bring supreme levels of talent to the table. Chris Brown essentially outed himself here as being one of those types of dudes. So yes, this was Chris Brown's gross, dumb, stupid, childish reaction to losing an award that, frankly, he should have lost. Nobody wants to hear the deluxe edition of an album that's already 80 minutes of mid. Comparatively, Black Radio 3, while I was not crazy about it myself, is better produced, more versatile, more interesting array of artists and guests on it. And Chris Brown freaking out over this, of course, caused the internet and many individuals in the music industry to come down on him, make fun of him. The reaction was quick. It was strong, and it led to this corny apology, which he direct messaged straight to Robert, who has almost 500,000 followers. So we know there are at least 500,000 people who know who the fuck Robert Glasper is. At least we know that. And yes, he screenshotted the apology. Let's check it out. Congratulations, my brother. Oh, they're close now. They're friends. I would like to apologize if you took offense to my reaction at the Grammys. You were not the intended target, but yet he was. He was literally the target. You posted the man's name and likeness to your social media feed. He was the target. And I know I came off really rude and mean. That's an understatement. After doing my research, which he did after, again, you guys have been nominated for the same award for months. I actually think you're amazing. The organization isn't doing us blacks our due diligence. Oh, God. Again, this is not a defense of the Grammys' racial politics, because obviously, historically speaking, they're pretty fucked. But like turning this into a thing that has to do with like, oh, this is the industry, bro. This is the system. When like clearly you were just being like really nasty and rude. It just reads as cheapening the ideas that you're kind of referencing and giving a nod to here by bringing them up in this context. You and I should never be in the same category, two totally different vibes and genres. Now here's the thing. Here is the thing, though. And I mean, the Grammys rules are what the Grammys rules are. I think that they, you know, obviously as an institution have their issues. Like I've been saying, we've made videos about this, but the Grammys do openly post the criteria for making it into various nomination categories. Specifically, this one, you have to have like 50% newly recorded R&B on your record in order to qualify. And while I don't know if the math is entirely mathing here for the Robert Glasper album, when, you know, it was nominated and they checked it out. But I will say this. The record does have Jennifer Hudson on it. It has Yebba on it. It has Ty Dolla $ign on it. It has her on it, BJ the Chicago Kid, as well as a few other artists as well who, you know, could be either seen as R&B or R&B adjacent. There are cuts on there that are clearly maybe more of a neo-soul style, but still. Yes, for sure. You guys are two totally different vibes. That so much is true. But with that being said, like, I feel like Robert's record makes the cut enough categorization-wise to where his placement isn't that weird. Common Chris Brown L. That's really all I have to say here. Hopefully, if Chris gets nominated for another award at some point in the future, he actually looks into the people who are nominated for the award as well, so he can see who he is up against, so that when he is beaten again, it's not a surprise. All right, I'm going to leave it there. Those are my thoughts. What are yours? Drop them in the comments. Was this cringe? Was this cool? Let me know. I'm sure you will. You're the best. Anthony Fantano. Over here next to my head is another video that you can check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Robert Glasper Awards forever.